Hey guys, what's up? My name is Anthony and welcome to another edition of BNA Sports Talk. So today I just want to talk about the Giants game, and I think I was pretty much right about this game. I said the final score is going to be 31-17. Green Bay is going to win. I take them, +7 or -7, and then I'd take the over. It was 44.5 when I said it, but then it moved down to like 43, so it was right around there. It was right around what I expected it, and I said Saquon Barkley is going to have a rebound game. The Giants are good with their run game, so I'm like, one of my keys was if we can stop the run, and then one of our guys can step up and get a couple of interceptions, maybe you can be in it. We just weren't able to cause turnovers, and we weren't able to get them off third down, and that's because we can't have sustained pressure, and that's because we run a 3-4. And we went down that whole rabbit hole to say James Bettcher is probably gone. Janoris Jenkins called him out. I'm assuming if it's coming out like this, he's talked to James Bettcher and there's something going on inside. You don't just come out and say this if there's something going on inside. He'd probably voice his opinions about James Bettcher in-house. He said in like week 2, we all have to be better, and then he stunk it up against, Mike Evans. Janoris Jenkins is solid, but my point is, if it's gotten out, he's probably wanted to send a message out because nothing's improving inside, so He wants to voice his distrust, and I don't love it, but it's whatever. He realizes he's probably gone, and he wants teams to look at him and say he's played well. He's playing for himself now, not really playing too much for the team, in my opinion, right now. Well, his contributions help the team, to be totally honest, but he's not really playing for the team right now. And another thing I want to get into is Matt Rule. So I was watching a video by Mike Too Nice. He's a Giants YouTuber. He's actually pretty solid. He does a lot of research with his videos, and I'm impressed by how fast he does the research and comes out with the videos. So definitely check out his video, Matt Rule. And he basically said, I'll just summarize a little bit of it. He was talking about Matt Rule, and there's one thing that really stood out to me. He said Matt Rule he didn't take the Jets job this past year because he wanted his guys. Dave Gettleman, is he going to let him have his guys? I don't know. Matt Rule had turned around 2 programs in Temple and Baylor, and he also was a coach on the Giants, so I think he's a perfect candidate. But are the Giants going to allow him to choose his personnel, choose who he wants? Maybe the personnel that he sees now he likes. That's going to be a huge question going forward. I think that's something to pay attention to. What other teams is he going to join? He's going to want to completely overhaul the Chargers. I think they're going to stick with Anthony Lynn. Maybe a Falcons. Do they trust another guy saying, I'm going to bring in my personnel? I'm not sure about that. The Carolina Panthers, Ron Rivera's probably out from what I've seen. Him and Matt Rule are the two trusted guys that I'd like to see in this position. I think that they do a great job. Ron Rivera would bring his own twist plus his defensive fervor. And then he bring in a 4-3 system, get a smart defensive coordinator, an old school guy as well. And then maybe even bring a Matt Rule in as an offensive coordinator. Not sure if he'll take the job as OC. Maybe he's going to want to go all the way up. But is he going to join the Browns with Baker Mayfield? Is he going to be like, oh, this is a challenge for me? Or is he going to be like, no, I'm not going to deal with this? So Matt Rule definitely has a lot of options open for himself. I think the Bengals are going to stick with Zach Taylor. The Broncos are going to stick with Vic Fangio. The Redskins, that would be an interesting choice. They already have some ties to Baylor. They drafted RG3. It doesn't have to do anything with anything like that. Sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, RG3 went to Baylor. But they're that Northeast vibe. The Washington Redskins are looking for a new guy at the helm. Maybe he gets Dwayne Haskins and said, I can work with this guy. If he goes to Daniel Jones and said, I can work with this guy, that'd be great. He didn't play against both of them, playing in the Big 12, so it is questionable. He's going to want to bring in his quarterback. These are all questions we're going to have to answer. And so the next topic I want to discuss about the game is I'd rather be in the Giants position than the Jets position, and here's why. So the Jets, their offense completely shuts down some games. They lost against the Dolphins and Bengals. Their offense completely goes dull. Against the Packers, the Giants were driving. We just had some turnovers, and honestly, I'd rather have a quarterback with a lot of turnovers and who actually takes shots than a guy like Kyler Murray who, he doesn't turn the ball over, but the offense will go completely dry if nothing works out. Daniel Jones, he'll figure some things out. He'll put up points, and he'll bring you in the game when you aren't supposed to. Now, he doesn't really make that fatal mistake. We've seen some costly fumbles, but from what I've seen, he never threw like the game-clinching interception. He's always battling. And I want to see a quarterback that battles. I don't want to see a quarterback that's flashy and that's going to, like, make one big play at the end of the game and they didn't really do anything towards the rest of the game. I want to see a guy who consistently takes shots, picks his spots good, but isn't just all or nothing. Is a guy that's consistent. I think Daniel Jones is that, and he's learning from his mistakes. If you don't make mistakes, at this point, you're not learning. Dwayne Haskins, it's great and all, but he has an amazing run game. That's going to slow his development by not making mistakes and not, throwing to guys that are open and not reading the plays. And he's put in a bad situation. The Jets with Adam Gase, they completely went silent against the Bengals. They went silent a couple weeks earlier. How do you go from scoring 34 points a game to 6? The Giants aren't like that. The Giants put up, 28 against the Lions. We put up, we could have put up really 21 against the Packers. We put up, 24 against the Cardinals. So we're consistent. We consistently get around 20 to 25 points a game. And, if Daniel Jones is hot, it's more close to 30. If Daniel Jones is not, it's more close to 15. And that's my stance on it. The Giants with Pat Shurmur also had a press conference where it seems like the main topic there is fight. Is the team fighting? And he's getting kind of mad a little bit. He's like, of course we're fighting. I don't like losing. Well, tell me why your team completely gives up in the fourth quarter. Tell me why they can't have X's and O's. And he had some excuses. He mentions Daniel Jones' ankle. I think that's partially why he sailed the ball a little bit, because if you don't really trust your ankle, you don't step right and you tend to sail the ball a little bit. That's what I think happened there. He had some just awful throws. I think that's because he was a little bit in pain. And Daniel Jones didn't say anything about his ankle. I watched his entire press conference. And even if he did, I'm not sure if I missed it, but even if he did, I'd assume he'd be like, oh, no, it's no big deal. Pat Shurmur mentioned it, like as like a side comment, oh, Daniel Jones had a little ankle thing. Really? Come on, it just seemed like when he mentioned that. And then towards the end, he had one specific comment. I'm going to need to find it real quick. I wrote it down, but it was really like eye-catching to me. So basically what he said was, a lot of people are learning on the job. What? Wait, what? If they're learning on the job, that means you didn't coach them right. We haven't had a lot of injuries this year. Name the guys that are really on injured reserve. Ryan Conley. It's a question to this team's coaching. We got rid of Benny Fowler, Russell Shepard, a lot of guys who were in training camp, and now we're bringing in a guy, a tight end who I never heard of. It's like, what are you talking about? The only real people that we lost is like Evan Ingram. Everyone's healthy here. He's like, we're dealing with a historically young team. Everyone's learning on the job. They shouldn't be learning on the job. Daniel Jones shouldn't be learning on the job. That should be like, that's a wrong thing to say. I'm not sure you meant something different, but it's worrying if we're learning on the job here. And yeah, so to wrap it up, the Giants, they are what they are. Don't overreact to this team. I've seen some people like The Entertainer and Bad Dog, who I watch. They're every single play, one play, like, oh, we definitely have to, we should keep Pat Shurmur. We need to keep him. And then the next drive, Daniel Jones makes a mistake. Daniel Jones sucks. We need to fire Pat Shurmur. And then something goes wrong in the other drive. Oh, we need to fire Dave Gettleman to get everyone out. This is a good team in the Green Bay Packers. They're more on in their development here. And we're far from being a good team, but Chase Young is going to help us a lot. We have good pass rushers right now. We have good run stoppers. We've switched to a 4-3. We're going to have more consistent pass rushing, and it's going to help our developing corners out. Julian Love, Corey Ballantyne, who was banged up, Sam Beal, who's he's learning on the job, I guess. But he hasn't really had a lot of reps. And maybe we keep Janoris Jenkins. I don't know. We need some guy like that. But it almost feels like the relationship is frayed at this point. It seems like it's unsalvageable. I think we need to bring in another veteran, I guess, like a Chris Harris Jr. In the corner spot. A guy who wants to play for us. A guy like Golden Tate, who was like, I want to be here with the Giants. And yeah, so that's pretty much all I have to say today. It is what it is. The Giants are what we thought they are. We're going to have a number 2 pick, potentially number 1 pick in the NFL draft, which is exciting. I know we don't love to be in the spot, but it's something I think we have to take. We're getting. I'm gonna make a different segment about this in my Giants talk this week, but I'll hint at it. The Giants are accumulating good draft picks, and that usually ends up working out because you have a lot of assets on your team to trade, and you have a lot of depth. And I feel like we're trending in the right direction. I have some optimism. I'm not sure about you. Hope you guys enjoy this video. Let me know what you guys think about anything I discussed in the video or any other points you have about the Giants. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.